Clara May Whitfield lived in the small western town of Dusty Creek where time seemed to stand still, the prairie winds whispered across the fields, and days slipped by in quiet repetition. She was 28, running her late father's old general store, and though her beauty was gentle and undeniable with chestnut hair and blue eyes, she carried herself with a kind of shyness that made men keep their distance. Most women her age were already married with children, but Clara had never known the touch of love, never even felt the press of lips against her own. At night she read romance novels by lamplight and sometimes pressed her fingers against her mouth, wondering what a kiss would feel like, but she told herself such dreams weren't for her. One hot afternoon, the bell above the store door jingled, and in walked a stranger, a tall cowboy with storm-gray eyes, dust on his boots, and a voice like slow rolling thunder. "Good morning, ma'am," he said, and something stirred inside Clara that she had never felt before. His name, she would later learn, was Cole Dawson, a drifter on the trail looking for supplies. While she nervously packed his order, a drunken ranch hand barged in and began to mock Clara, calling her lonely and unwanted. Before Clara could respond, Cole stepped between them, his broad shoulders shielding her, his voice firm and steady as he said, "That's enough. Show some respect." The drunk faltered, grumbled, and left, leaving Clara shaken but safe. She whispered her thanks, and Cole only tipped his hat with a small smile, saying, "No trouble, ma'am." That night, Clara closed the store and walked home beneath the fading light, her thoughts spinning. For years her world had been gray and silent, but suddenly it felt like something new had entered, a spark she couldn't ignore. Lying awake in her bed, she tried to read but the words blurred, for all she could see was the cowboy's steady eyes and the way he had stood for her without hesitation. She didn't yet know what was coming, only that for the first time, her heart was awake, beating fast with a hope she had never dared to feel before. The very next day Cole returned to the store, this time not for supplies but for conversation, and Clara found herself smiling in ways she never had before. His stories of the trail carried dust and laughter, and soon he was helping her carry crates, teaching her how to hold reins more confidently, and filling her quiet days with unexpected warmth. The townsfolk began to whisper, but Clara's heart no longer cared. When the barn dance arrived that weekend, Clara stood alone at the edge of the lantern-lit floor, watching couples twirl to the fiddle's song, telling herself she belonged in the shadows. Then Cole appeared beside her, his voice low as he tipped his hat and said, "A pretty woman like you shouldn't be standing in the dark." He took her hand and led her to the floor, and though her steps were clumsy, his hold was steady, guiding her until she was laughing, breathless in his arms. When the music ended, they walked together through the quiet streets, the night hushed, the moon bright above. Cole stopped suddenly, turned to face her, and his eyes searched hers with gentle seriousness. "Tell me, Clara," he asked softly, "is it true you've never been kissed?" Her cheeks flushed hot, her voice barely a whisper as she admitted, "No, never." For a moment silence hung between them, then Cole smiled, tilting his hat back. He leaned closer, his words brushing her ear like a promise, "Then let me fix that, and show you what real love feels like." Before she could breathe, his lips touched hers, tender yet certain, and the world shifted. It wasn't just a kiss, it was a doorway opening, a promise that she was no longer alone. Her heart raced, her knees weakened, but Cole held her steady as if to say she had always belonged there, in his arms. When he finally drew back, he whispered, "You weren't waiting for nothing, Clara. You were waiting for me." Tears glimmered in her eyes, not of sorrow but of joy, because in that moment she knew her years of loneliness had led her to this single night, this single kiss, that changed everything.